Who ought to be earning more, the players of a sport or the analysts? Well, instead of reuniting with ESPN and Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, the longtime anchor for FOX SportsCenter, decided to sign a massive contract with the network to earn approximately $8 million per year. Even though it is Skip's job to stir up trouble with his outspoken opinions, given that this is his major role, we'd all agree that this figure is quite extravagant. Can you imagine NBA analyst Skip Bayless getting paid more than Coby White and Lonnie IV? So how is Skip earning more than some NBA players? And who exactly is he? The wealth of the American sports writer Skip Bayless is estimated to be $17 million. He is most well known for his work as a commentator on the episode of First Take that aired on ESPN2. However, he left his contract with ESPN2 to take a job at Fox Sports. After leaving his position at ESPN in 2016, Skip started his program on Fox Sports called Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Truly, over the course of his career, Bayless has built a name for himself as a commentator who does not hold any punches. And maybe that's why fans like him, due to his passionate delivery, his ability to debate virtually anyone on any issue regarding the sport, and his oftentimes absurd predictions despite his considerable sports knowledge. Even while these predictions may not always come true, they do an excellent job of keeping the audience interested in what they have to say. But wait, how did Skip start his career? After graduating from Vanderbilt, Skip found work as a sports feature writer at the Miami Herald. Later on, in 1976, he began his career as an investigative reporter at the Los Angeles Times, where he quickly rose to prominence. Among the most exciting and memorable stories he told during this period include stories about the Los Angeles Dodgers and their team-wide animosity for Steve Garvey. He also brought to light the inconsistency of the starting quarterback rotation that Carroll Rosenblum had implemented for the Rams. His coverage of the Triple Crown winner Seattle Slew earned Bayless an Eclipse Award in 1977 for outstanding newspaper writing. And when Skip was 26 years old, he started working as a sports journalist for the Dallas Morning News. After another 3 years, he started contributing to the Dallas Times-Herald. When Bayless was in his 20s, he was considered for the distinction of Texas Sports Writer of the Year 3 separate times. Additionally, Skip is the author of several books. After spending the previous 17 years in Dallas, he moved to Chicago in the late 1990s and started working as a journalist for the Chicago Tribune. Since then, his work has been published in illustrious publications such as Sports Illustrated. And guess what? Apart from television and newspaper, he also worked for radio. In the early 1990s, he started his career in radio by hosting a debate program on a station in Dallas. During the middle of the 1990s, he was a frequent participant on the radio program The Fabulous Sports Babe that was broadcast on ESPN. Another of his successes is his work on radio shows such as The Jim Rome Show. The first episode of The Sports Reporters, which was shown on ESPN in the 1990s, coincided with the beginning of Skip's career in television. Let's say he began his career in broadcasting for the Golf Channel as a pundit during the tail end of the 1990s. During the early 2000s, he regularly appeared on The Last Word on Fox Sports Net as a guest. During this period, he was featured on several Fox programs, including Rome is Burning and the Best Damn Sports Show period. By the middle of the 2000s, Skip was working for ESPN full-time. Around that time, he took part in contentious debates for shows such as First Take. In 2016, he parted ways with ESPN and began working for Fox Sports under a new contract. During the period that he spent working with his old friend and co-worker Shannon, he made an appearance on several shows, one of which was titled Skip and Shannon Undisputed. During this period, he rose to prominence due to his outspoken criticism of other professional athletes, including LeBron James, Aaron Rodgers, and others. In addition to his many appearances on television, Bayless has also made guest roles in movies such as Rocky Balboa. His appearances on ESPN documentaries include Herschel and Pony Excess, both of which he was a part of. Now you are wondering, how big is Skip's career currently? Recently, alongside Smith, Bayless served as the face of ESPN's Embrace debate, which ultimately led to his appointment as co-host of the morning sports program on FS1, alongside the outstanding Shannon. In spite of the fact that Bayless's contract with Fox came to an end in September with an exact financial sum of somewhere around $6 million, it remained uncertain what the future held for him. Even though it was rumoured that ESPN wanted to bring Bayless back and have him work with Stephen A again, the New York Post's Andrew Marchant reported that Bayless was able to secure a new 4-year contract worth $32 million. That is $8 million per year. The question is, what makes Skip earn such a high pay? There is a great deal of room for dispute over Bayless's remuneration, including the fact that it might be interpreted as a critique of the preference that the sport media has for superficial viewpoints over in-depth debates. And it's easy to lose sight of the fact that Skip Bayless makes more money annually for discussing sports than certain NBA players who are, paid to play sport. And now that Dime on Uprocks has broken down the data, and it is much simpler to baffle at how much money Skip received from Fox Sports. Dime prepared a list of current NBA players who make less money than Skip does, and Uprocks has broken down the figures. Although it is not surprising that the majority of these players are still playing under the terms of their rookie contracts, it is important to note that not all of them are in their first seasons in the NBA. It is extremely amazing to see that the league is able to produce young talent on the level of Coby White, Jaden Ivey and Lonnie Walker IV. But the fact that they are earning quite less than Skip is baffling. Bayless's pay looks even more absurd when compared to that of Reggie Jackson and Alex Caruso. It cannot be denied that Bayless is well recognised as a troll inside the sports media industry. It doesn't matter what you think of Skip Bayless. If you look at his annual salary and compare it to that of other NBA players, you'll notice that he comes out on top, regardless of how you feel about him. But what else should you know Skip for, apart from good pay? Well, if you know Skip even a little bit, you already know that he enjoys stirring up trouble and that it feeds his popularity. For instance, in the year 2020, Skip made some controversial comments about the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. This caused a lot of controversies. Before making his private life public, Prescott was forthright about his struggles with depression, with the sincere wish that he may assist in eliminating some of the stigmas that is connected with mental health issues. But for whatever reason, Bayless made the decision to condemn Prescott for his words, stating that he didn't have pity for the quarterback. This may have been because Bayless himself didn't have sympathy for Prescott. He gave the impression that Prescott's complaints were irrelevant, and he reminded his audience that he was the quarterback of one of the best NFL teams in the country, implying that he ought to be satisfied with his situation as a result of the fact that he was in that position. But as further details emerged, it became abundantly evident that Dak's brother had just committed suicide as a direct result of the seclusion brought about by the lockdowns imposed by COVID-19. To cope with his feelings of depression, he sought professional therapy in addition to receiving support from members from his own family and the agents of the Dallas Cowboys. So Shannon referred to Skip's words as a disappointment, prompting Fox Sport to release a statement declaring they disagree with Skip's statement. And in the following weeks, Bayless found himself under increasing pressure to backtrack on his previous views and provide an official apology. Anyway, which of Skip's controversies do you know of? But more importantly, do you think that it's fair for Skip to be paid more than some NBA players? Do you think $8 million is a lot of money for an analyst? That's all for today's video. See you in the next video.